tonight feels heavier than the nights before, as if every untouched moment carries your shadow inside it. There is a quiet trembling in my chest tonight, a feeling that arrives softly but settles deeply, like rain falling into a forgotten well. I sit alone with the dimness of this room, and the silence feels almost alive, breathing slowly around me, reminding me again and again that you are no longer here. Sometimes I trace my fingers along the cold window glass, wondering if your name would still linger there, if I wrote it with trembling hands, the way your presence lingers in the deepest corners of my heart. I think about the promises we never spoke but felt, the dreams we never built but held quietly between our hearts. Some nights I wish time could bend just once and return me to the moment your smile was still mine. But tonight, reality sits beside me like an old friend, familiar, heavy, and painfully honest. It reminds me that some stories don't lose their meaning even when they lose their ending. I breathe slowly, trying to calm the ache that rolls through my chest like waves seeking a lost shore. And though I know you may never return, I also know that the love we shared doesn't need your presence to continue living. It breathes through my memories, through my voice, through my quiet midnight confessions to the sky. And so tonight I hold you not as a wish, not as a hope, but as a soft truth that lives within me, something untouched, something unbroken, something that time cannot steal. This is the part of love that remains when everything else has faded. The gentle ache, the quiet faith, the soft reminder that once, for a moment, two souls touched and recognized each other in a world full of strangers. Tonight, as the hours unravel slowly into the quiet arms of midnight, I feel a heaviness inside my chest that I cannot name, a weight that grows softer yet deeper with every breath I take. There are nights when silence behaves like a companion standing beside me in a gentle, harmless way. But tonight it is different. Tonight silence is not a friend. It is a mirror reflecting back every memory of you that I tried to hide behind the fragile curtains of time. I find myself sitting near the window. Again, the same window where I once imagined a future that carried your laughter inside it. The air feels still, almost shy, as if it fears disturbing the whispers of thought swirling through my mind. I watch the faint glow of distant city lights flickering like tired dreams struggling to stay awake, and somewhere deep within that glow I imagine a world where you still exist beside me, where your presence is not a memory but a feeling I can touch, a voice I can hear, a reality I can hold. The room carries your absence the way a shoreline carries the memory of waves that no longer touch it. Every corner, every shadow, every whisper of cold air seems to echo with the faint trace of the life we once shared. It is strange, I think, how a heart can continue beating even when the person it beats for is no longer within its reach. It is stranger still how a name unspoken aloud can echo louder than any sound in the world. I try to read, to write, to distract my mind with tasks that once kept me grounded, but everything feels empty, incomplete, like a story missing its most important chapter. I look at my hands and wonder how they once held yours, how they once believed that a lifetime could be built from the warmth of two palms pressed together. The memory feels like something I lived centuries ago, a piece of time wrapped in golden dust, untouchable yet unforgettable. Sometimes I try to convince myself that the ache will fade, that one day the space inside my chest will feel lighter, freer, unburdened by the shape of your absence. But tonight reminds me that some absences are carved so deeply into the soul that letting go becomes less a choice and more a slow unfolding, a process with no end, no beginning, just a quiet persistence that lives through time. The night grows deeper and the world outside softens into a blur of shadows. Somewhere far away, a car passes, a dog barks, a distant voice hums through the stillness, yet nothing breaks the quiet inside me, the quiet that carries your name the way the sea carries its secrets. I close my eyes for a moment, letting the darkness settle, and in that brief silence, I feel you again, not as a memory, not as a dream, but as a presence woven through the threads of my soul. It is the kind of presence that cannot be explained with words, the kind that lingers in the space between breaths, in the rhythm of a heartbeat, in the fragile fire of longing. I wonder where you are now. I wonder if you still walk beneath the same sky with thoughts that wander toward me without meaning to, or have you learned to forget the sound of my name, the weight of my silence, the shape of my smile? I wonder if you carry even a fraction of this ache, or if your world is now filled with new beginnings, fresh laughter, untouched dreams that do not echo with my memory. Tonight, as I sit once more inside the quiet circle of my own thoughts, I feel the familiar hush of longing settle around me like a soft veil. There is something different in the air, a gentler ache, a calmer kind of missing, as if my heart has finally learned how to carry your absence without shattering. I trace the shadows on the wall with my eyes, watching them move slowly like memories drifting across time. Some memories arrive with the sharpness of a fresh wound, but others come softly like footsteps on an empty street, reminding me that not all pain must hurt violently. Some pain simply exists, quiet, patient, unchanging. I let the night breathe around me, let its silence wrap itself around my thoughts, and in that fragile silence, I can still feel you, not as you were, but as you became inside me after life carried us apart. It is strange how your presence still lives in the smallest corners of my world, in the pause between two breaths, in the softness of an unwritten word, in the faint echo of a memory that rises without warning and settles without mercy. Sometimes I wonder whether love is meant to stay whole, or if its purpose is to break us gently into the versions of ourselves we were always meant to become, because losing you did not empty me, it changed me. It carved new spaces inside me where tenderness could breathe and where silence could speak. Tonight I speak to you in the only way I still can, through the quiet language of my heart, through the stories I write, in the dark, through the echoes you left behind that refuse to fade. And maybe this is what love becomes when distance grows roots, not a burning fire, not a desperate reaching, but a soft, steady glow that lights the places inside us where memories still sleep. I don't wait for your return. I don't expect a sign, but I still carry you in the folds of my thoughts, in the gentle spaces of my night, not as a hope, not as a wish, but as a quiet truth that time has not been able to erase. Tonight, I realize that some people do not leave, they simply change the form in which they exist within us, and you you have become a part of the silence. I have learned not to fear. The night hums softly around me, carrying whispers of what was never spoken yet always felt inside the chambers of my heart. I breathe, slowly letting the memories rise and fall like tides against the shores of a soul that remembers you even when the world forgets. I touch the edges of shadows, dancing lightly on the walls like traces of your presence that linger in every corner, every silent pause, every fragile breath. Sometimes I wonder if you see the same stars, the same moon, the same sky that holds me in its quiet embrace when I think of you. Time has shaped my longing differently into something softer, but no less real, no less deep, no less tender, no less truthful than it was in moments when you were near, when laughter filled the spaces between our hands, between our hearts. I do not wish to escape this ache. It teaches me patience, faith, strength, and humility. It reminds me that love never truly leaves. It simply shifts, changes, form grows, roots deep inside the places we cannot see yet, always carry inside us like hidden gardens of memory. Tonight I sit beneath the quiet sky, imagining your face, your smile, the sound of your voice, the way it wrapped around my soul, like warmth on a cold morning. And even if tomorrow comes carrying its emptiness, I will hold the light of you carefully, tenderly, as one holds hope, one holds memory, one holds a truth too fragile to break yet too beautiful to let fade. Tonight the world feels impossibly still, as if it holds its breath in quiet reverence for what has been lost and what remains unspoken. I sit alone in the dim corner of a room that once held your laughter, the soft echo of your presence lingering in the air like a fragrance I cannot touch but can never forget. Every shadow seems to bend toward me, and in those shadows I see fragments of you, tiny shards of memory that pierce my chest with both tenderness and longing. Time has become a slow, unyielding companion. Minutes stretch like threads, each one tangled with thoughts of you woven into a tapestry of both hope and grief. I feel the weight of absence pressing against my ribs, a heaviness that refuses to be dismissed or ignored. It settles into the quiet spaces of my chest, the hollows between breaths, and I wonder how a soul can continue to beat when the presence it once cherished has drifted far beyond reach. I walk through the empty streets of memory tonight, tracing every step we once took together, as if the ground remembers our footprints. The wind carries the scent of a thousand forgotten evenings, whispers of conversations that ended too soon, of laughter that was interrupted by the inevitable reality of distance. I can feel the ghost of your hand in mine, the warmth of your gaze, the way the world seemed to tilt toward us in perfect harmony when we were near, and yet that harmony has vanished, leaving only silence in its wake, a silence that speaks louder than any